Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to be showing off my build for the Atterax. Now this weapon, it's one of the best, probably one of the best melee weapons in the game. Arguably, I've seen a lot of people using it, especially in higher level play, because once you get maiming strike, this weapon pretty much can just one shot 100, this level 100s, that kind of stuff. I've seen people two shot level 150s, and it just gets really crazy when you use this weapon, and it's just really good. But again, for beginner players, it's gonna be kind of like a little harder for you to build for it, because melee weapons are very complicated weapons to build towards. They're very hard. So this is why this video is here for beginner players that need help with their builds for just for most weapons. I'll be doing it for weapons and warframes as well. And I was kind of a little serious thing. It's kind of my little thing. So yeah, let's actually go and have a look at my Atterax itself. So let's quickly switch over these configs, and I can show you what actual things I've added on with this build. So as you can see, I'm sorry if you can hear that noise. It's kind of annoying. Let's see if we can turn that down a little bit. Okay, there you go. Okay, so as you can see up here, we have the attack speed, which has been increased by Fury to 119. Now, for this weapon, most of the time, if I ever see a weapon that has its base attack speed is lower than 1, I normally mod it so that it's faster, because I personally cannot handle slow weapons, so I usually put Fury in at least. And for this weapon, it's really good. It's a positive. For some weapons, I can see why you wouldn't really want to mod for attack speed, but for the Atterax, you kind of want to, just because the way you move it, and with most stances, I think they're called stances. Yeah, for most stances, like it's like the coiling whip. Not as much as the coiling whip, but if you have the other stance, which is the burning wasp, that one you definitely would want Fury on. That's the one I've mainly been using. I've only been recently using the coiling whip, coiling viper. And especially for this one, you really want to have Fury on, because it's just so annoying just waiting between swings, and you want to go fast, especially with this weapon. And so yeah, the next thing we've also increased is the critical multiplier. Now the reason for this is because this weapon already has a really good critical multiplier at like three times. That's really good, and usually if a weapon has something it's really good at, you usually mod for that to make it even better at that. Unless the weapon is unless what it's going for is not the best. But usually you would normally do that. So if usually something's going for like critical multiplier, you would want to put you want to increase the critical multiplier so that it just gets like really high numbers. Like as you can see here, 5.7. And seeing this, you after a while, especially with this build, you're not going to be you won't be like killing enemies really quickly when you first start using this weapon in battle. But once you start getting those combo multiply up and up and up and up, you're going to be like killing a lot, like level 40 enemies really easily. For again, saying that this is a beginner's build, so level 40 enemies are probably the highest enemies you're going to be versing majority of the time. So again, saying that. But yeah, so you're going to be literally just you at the very start, it's going to be very boring. It's going to be very inefficient. It's not going to be the best. But once you get those combos up and up and up, you're going to be just mowing through enemies. But again, saying that, you can drop you can lose the combo, and then you have to redo it up and up again. But still, with this build, you can just literally slowly build your weapon up and just get just unbelievable numbers. Especially in especially in like missions where like heaps of enemies coming. You can literally get your combo multiplier. I've seen people with this get their combo multiplier up to like 500, to like 500, 1,000. Like it just gets to ridiculous numbers of the combo multiplier, and it's just unbelievable how it can sometimes go up so high. But it's just good to have that on. Then we have these three right here: the wall attack, spin attack, and leap attack. Now these ones you don't really want to care about. They're not the most important thing. But again, what I would prefer to to look at and make sure that is higher is spin attacks, because for most weapons spin attacks are very important, because that means when I mean spin attack, I mean every single time you press control and then press E and do like a spin motion when you use your melee, that's going to do extra damage onto your attack, and that is really good, especially because in most combat you're going to be spinning a lot of the time. It's the most accessible thing to do. It's something you can do a lot most of the time. When compared to like wall attack and leap attack, again, not that important, because one, you won't be doing leap attacks that much, because that's pretty much when you just jump in the air and then press E and then go like straight forward with them. That's leap attack. that's not going to happen that much. It's going to be very rare for that to happen to you, or very rare for you to do that like consistently in combat, because it's only a starting. It's only more of a starting damage thing where you first go into combat and then you just spin into the enemy and just take him out. That's the only time you're gonna do it. Most time you won't be doing leap attacks. And again, wall attacks, I don't see that many people doing wall running on that kind of stuff. So again, very rare as well. Extremely rare. And again, the reason I said before, it's very rare for leap attacks. I was thinking about the wall attack while I was talking about that. So apologize about that as well. And then we have the three. Oh, actually, I forgot to talk about as well. The status is what I forgot to talk about. Now this is at 52%, pretty high. Again, it's so I'm kind of confused with the status, because it might say one weapon has like 52 status, but then a weapon that has like 30 status will proc status a lot more than this, but then like something with 52. It's kind of weird. It's weapon to weapon. It's very different. But for what I've seen, this 52 status on this, very good. You know, you're gonna be proccing a status quite a lot. You can easily get that higher. I have like a status build for that right here as well, where I've got like status, really high. Oh wait, what? Huh? Don't have status. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually no. Sorry. For the weep, it doesn't say it straight away. If you put weeping runes in here, you can get really high and that kind of stuff. Sorry, I was so confused when I went down. They confused me so much. But you can get status higher. You can get to like really high numbers. You can just make it so that it's saying if you're using blast, you can make the enemies just fall over constantly if you so want to. But again, this is not what this build is here for. This build is more for more damage dealing. It's a more damage dealing build. It's made for just doing tons of damage for beginning players. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the status. Very good for knocking down the enemies. Again, like I said before, it's not the main thing we're doing here. It's just here to basically make it so it's kind of just like the side thing. Yeah, it's a side thing where you can just it's a extra thing for you to knock down the enemies, because again, knocking down the enemies, especially with melee weapon, very good, because that means the enemies are going to be stopping attacking you, and you can just continue doing damage on them while they're not even doing anything to you. So it's just very good. You basically incapacitate them for about 4 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that. I don't know. I haven't tested it, but it's like around 4 to 3 seconds, around that kind of number. And that's very good, because you can get more and more attacks in, and you can. It's just good to have blast on for melee weapons. Yeah. And then we go down to obviously the secondary element, blast. Now, if you watch my videos before, which I would be very surprised, because I only have one person that kind of that only recently kind of watches my videos, and if you can see, I'm nearly every single build I've ever shown, I've always had corrosive on, but this is probably, I think, the first build that I've shown where it doesn't have corrosive on it, which is a weird thing for me, because I felt weird not doing that. But I don't think corrosive is really that important at this current point. I feel like blast would be more of a beneficial mod having on here. It's just because it's kind of how Atterax plays. It's just good, it just. I don't think you need corrosive for this, as the critical is doing enough. But again, saying that as well, if you form this, I think you need to form this twice, maybe even 3 times if you want to, or you can form it twice and then put on this one before. But again, I feel like this basically makes it so you do more damage. So I would keep this on and then form it 3 times. But if you form it 3 times, maybe even 4 times, you could probably switch these out, or actually no, maybe 2 times. Then you can switch these out with either with Fever Strike, and what's the electricity one? Go find that. Oh, this is embarrassing. What is the electricity one? Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Or Shocking Touch. You can switch those out. This is the other one. So you can either switch out with Shocking Touch, or Shocking Touch and Fever Strike, and you can pretty much make it then that you just do bucket load damage. You can just make it a completely damage build. But I feel like it's more beneficial to have blast on, because it means you're knocking down enemies and you're making them basically make them so they can't do damage to you, and then yet you're doing damage to them. So I feel like it's more beneficial to have blast on. And then we have puncture, slash, and impact. These. Again, they're the kind of the base damage. As you can see, it's got slash, which is probably the best straight up damage in the game. If you want to know why, just search up You can search up videos on that kind of stuff, and you can probably see why. But slash is just the best in the game. This is really good. If a weapon has just straight up slash on it, you know it's probably going to be a really good weapon. Yeah, so let's actually go and have a look at the mods in this. So as you see here, the stance we have is coiling viper. I mean, now, as I say before, in my opinion, I feel like this is a lot better than burning wasp. Mainly because it's just a way that you just kind of just use your weapon the way you do it. I think I've done some testing of this weapon, and from what I've seen, I feel like the weapon is spun around more and you can get a lot more hits on the enemies than when compared to burning wasp from what I've seen. And I've just gone to I use it when I'm doing a testing of weapon to when I used to do a testing of a weapon with high level play, like on Sedna. I used to go to the same mission. I go through to kill the enemies, and I did testing between burning wasp and coiling viper, and it seemed like I was doing more damage killing the enemies quicker with coiling viper. So I'm probably going to recommend that you put coiling viper on. Now, as you can see here, the symbol here isn't the right symbol. I'm pretty sure it's the symbol here. It is the Varazin symbol. I'm sorry, I'm not good with names. It's the Varazin symbol. So that means that if you want to form this, I would recommend forming this, or either forming on one of these spots here with the Madarin symbol for Blood Rush, because that's probably the highest one you're going to have on here. So it's probably good to put that on, and you can probably put that. You probably save like six space, and then you can probably, if you put it up here, it's also 6 space. So it's either one you want to put on. You can either form a here or here, and you probably get the same amount. And that's pretty much it. For the stance. Then we got pressure point again. Any mod that is brings up straight damage, very good. Don't even really need to talk about it. There's no point in talking about it. Same with reach, and I've talked about fury just before. Now, drifting contact. This is, if you're going for a combo based build, very important, very good. This basically makes it so that your combos last an extra 10 seconds, which is very good, because if you don't know, our combos last like 5 seconds. If you're not doing continuous damage onto an enemy, and you're not getting continuous hits and your combo's not continuously going up, after like 4 or 5, I think like 4 seconds, it goes away. And that can be really bad, especially with a build like this with Blood Rush, because with this kind of build, you want to gradually get your combos up. So you just do it because once you get to a point, I think it's like 2 times, you just do really good damage. So you want to make it so that you can travel between groups of enemies, but not at the same time lose all of your combo. So having something like drifting contact on basically makes it so that it gives you more time to travel between points and actually keep your combos and keep on the combos going and just continuously do it. It can be really good. This is a very important mod for this build. It's very important. And then the next part of this mod is the increase in status chance. Again, if it just had increased combo duration, I would still have it on, but the increased status chance has made it even more desirable, especially for the the blast for the second round. Sorry, got my words mixed up. So very good mod, very important, probably one of the most important mods on here before Blood Rush. Very good. Then we obviously have Blood Rush. Now this is probably one of the most vital mods if you want to do a crit build. I think if you want to do like a maiming strike build, you can probably that's also very important. But for beginners, very important, and it's just very good. It's very nice. It's a very good mod. And as you can see here, it basically every single time your combo multiplier stacks, which if you don't know what that means, it means every single time on the bottom right, which is where it shows your combo multiplier. Now, it only shows your combo multiplier when you have your melee weapon in hand, but it's still applies to it. The combo still happens even if you have your primary equipped or your secondary equipped. You just can't see it. But if you bring your melee out and then do damage to enemies, the number will eventually go up, and then once it hits a certain amount of number, the times will go up to like 1.5 times, and then it'll go to 2 times, and then 2.5 times will go up, and it goes up by 0.5 every single time you read a thing. And every single time that multiplier goes up, it it will add 120% critical chance every single time, and that is just really good. That's a really that basically will make it so why it's like, because majority of fights you're going to be getting to like if you're like high level player, like a center kind of levels, like level 40 kind of stuff. That means you're going to be getting like 200 360 critical chance and pretty much this all the time, and that's really good because that means you're going to be procking your critical multiplier or critical hits heaps of time. And with organ shatter, that means that you're going to be doing by about 5.7 times, extra. You're just going to need just ridiculous amounts of of critical hits with this build. So it's just really good to have this on. Very good mod. Basically makes it so that you it basically makes it so your chance of doing extra damage is even higher and very good. And with drifting contact, that means you keep this ridiculous amount of critical chance for quite a while. So you can literally just go between groups and groups and just have this go straight in with most of the time 320 extra crit chance just for the whole entire fight, and that means you're just gonna be killing these enemies really quickly. It's very good, but again, saying that without it, this weapon isn't gonna kill that quickly. You can't once this weapon gets up that multiplier to like 2.5. Very good. It's just really good. Then we have Organ Shatter here, which increases the critical damage to. I think this is the only mod I have on that increases critical damage. Yeah, so it increases to 5.7 times. Now I'm pretty sure there's like one more other mod that can probably do that. I'm not 100% sure if I have it, but I'm pretty sure there's another one which you can do that. And if you can put it on it, you can probably get to like around probably 6.5, probably higher, critical multiplier. But again, you don't really need that. This already does good enough. It already gets it so you can kill most of the lot of your enemies. But again, that would be nice to put it on. You can probably do even more damage and even more ridiculous numbers. So again, you could just keep this on. It should be fine with just Organ Shatter. Then we have Volcanic Edge and Vicious Frost. Now these two right here make the blast, the secondary element blast, and they also increase the status chance by 60 each. So that basically brings the status around to 52%, which probably, as I said before, you're gonna be proccing blast quite a lot. So again, not as much as when compared to my Casso War build and those kind of thing, to my other builds, but you're still gonna be proccing it quite a lot. So again, very good. And as I said before, I gave the reasons why why you're blasting here, because it basically makes the enemies fall over, makes them basically incapacitates them for like 3 to 4 seconds. Again, I don't know the exact number, but again, still really good. Now, again, I'm just going to say why. So, like, you're going to be having ridiculous numbers. Now, I was saying that because, obviously, you won't, if you're going up to, like, level 80s, you won't be killing them extremely quickly. You won't be doing ridiculous numbers on them. But again, for a beginner's build, you were doing ridiculous numbers with this. And it's just really good, and you can just kill heaps of enemies with this, and it's just very good. It's a very good build. Again, not as good as when I showed it in my Castle Wall build. I feel like that is still superior than this. But again, superior for beginners. I'm pretty sure once you get the high level play, I'm pretty sure the Atterax is superior. But for beginner players, I'm pretty sure the Castle War is better. But again, if you do have the Atterax, this is very good and very doable. And again, I'm not 100% sure about this. I forgot to check before I started recording. I'm too lazy to go check now and kind of start the video and then coming back. But I'm 80% sure you get this from doing the lure missions. Not lure missions, lure challenge rooms. I don't know which one it is though. You can probably search it up and find out yourself. But you get this from doing those those challenge rooms. So do those and you can probably get this. It's just very good for any combo builds. And it's just a very good mod to have in your arsenal for when you are doing other builds, especially in the future when you're doing those kind of like high level builds for really far up. And also one thing before I got to mention, I have about 3 of these. I did this in my last video, so this might change if you come here. But if you do want this, the first person to get it from any of these videos to ask for this, I will give them for about 2 platinum. Next person gets it for 10 and then 15, and then once they're gone, that's pretty much it. So if you do want one of these, because I'm pretty sure you only get this from the Acolytes, and they've been away for a while, But if you do, so it's very hard to get them, and the only way you can get them is train chat. And I just feel like giving them away for, just for low amounts of platinum compared to other people. So if you do want Blood Rush, I'll give it to you for some platinum, and depending on how quickly you get it, depends on what price you get it for. So just gonna say that. And now I'm going to show off the Atterax very quickly. Okay, let's bring it out. Let's come over here. So he's level 85, just letting you know. So as you can see, it's not really doing the best at the very start, but then after a while it starts doing really good damages. As you can see, now it's just killing them really quickly. There we go. And try and do the spin attacks a lot, because you do extra damage. Okay. So now I'm going to quickly run over here, bring them up, and show you how compared to the beginning damage. Okay, let's see if I can get this simulate. Come on. Stay with me. There we go. As you can see, compared to killing them a lot quicker with with the increased multiplier. Yeah, look quickly, we've just killed all of them. As you see, you can get it really high, 2.5, and you just do ridiculous numbers with this. Once you get to like high. But again, saying this, I am running back. Most of the time, I'm going to be fighting enemies. Okay, let's see if we can get that one more time. I've only been able to do this one. Get to that second. Damn it! Let's get the multiplier away as I got there. Damn it! But as you can see, let's quickly run over and kill them. As you can see, once you get that multiplier up, you are killing enemies a lot quicker. And you said that was like half the time when it got to like 2.5. So that is a very good way of doing damage on them, is by just going to groups and just getting stuff from them and moving the next group and then the next group. And try and make your combat very confined, and and try and get into areas and try to like be a lot more strategic with that kind of stuff, because you don't want to run out of combo and then go to a big group of enemies. So this saying that as well. Also, I feel like if you want to get the most out of this weapon, I feel like it's better if you use it because I can see here this only does 2 basic swings, but if you have your weapon in hand, the Atterax in hand, you do a lot more complicated moves and do a lot more hits on them. So if you do want to get the most out of this weapon, I feel like you should use it in hand. And yeah, just letting you know that. I feel the stance is a lot better for when you're doing it in hand. So just letting you know that. Okay. And I'm probably going to end the video here now, because I'm not really good at ending videos. I'm just going to end it straight here. Goodbye.